So good morning, everyone. As I said, we're going to start in Konasana. I'll demonstrate again in case anyone has a question about what we're doing. Sorry, I've just got a little tickle in my throat this morning. I think you got some spring allergies. So coming onto your mats and using a blanket to support your spine and sitting with your hips on the mat in front of the blanket. I have a couple of pillows here to support my head. I've got my bricks to put under my knees. And we're going to bring the looped belt over the body, bringing it around your hip bones, and then through your knees and putting it around your toes. And then tightening the belt as you need to get the traction, as close to the feet, as close to the body as is comfortable. And then relaxing back into the pose. Moving the skin away from your hips so that your back can rest on the blanket. And then just closing your eyes and coming to breathing. Now, while you remain in the position, I'm going to sit up to make it a little easier to walk you through the breathing exercise that we're going to do this morning. So just take another minute before we begin. So again, if you're just joining, we're starting in Konasana. Now, last week we did a breathing exercise that emphasized retention on the inhalation, where we inhaled in thirds and held for a beat in between each section. Today we're going to do the opposite, called pradaloma, again, which is a retention breathing, and it focuses on retention on the exhalation. As again, if you have a heart issue, if you have high blood pressure, hypertension, don't do the retention, just breathe through the exercise continuously. So what we'll do, we will start with a full breath in, filling the lower, the mid, and the top parts of the chest cavity. And then on the exhalation, we'll exhale the top third and hold. Then we'll exhale the second third and hold. And finally, exhale completely. So coming to your breathing again in Konasana, in that pose. Let's come to the breath. Slowing down the mind and the thoughts of the day. And if you'd like, excuse me, if you'd like to set an intention for your class today, do so now. And let's just do a deep preparatory breath in through the nose, feeling the whole chest cavity fill, the lower part of the body, the rib cage expanding through the sides, and then the top of the chest, and then completely exhaling top to bottom through the nose. Now let's begin. Inhale through the nose, filling the lower part of the body, the center, and the top, and hold for just a moment. Now exhale just the top third of your breath and hold. Exhale now the second third of the breath and hold. Now exhale, completely squeezing as much stale air out of the body as possible. And then inhale, returning to normal breath, filling the chest cavity, the lungs with fresh, energizing prana. And breathe. This focus on the exhalation helps us to let go, to remember to exhale. So many times, especially when we're stressed, we tend to hold onto the breath, and it creates tension in the body and ultimately the mind and the spirit. So as we begin again for another round, let's take a preparatory breath in through the nose. And exhaling. Now inhaling deeply, filling the lower, the middle, and the top of the chest, and hold. Now exhale the top third and hold. Exhale the second third and hold. And finally exhale, completely squeezing the torso. And on empty, return to inhalation, filling the lungs. And breathe normally. Noticing the sensations. Noticing if you have issues with this, if it's hard for you to do this. Some people really aren't aware of how the tension that they hold when they're breathing. Or maybe not. And we'll do one final round of this breathing. So on your next inhalation, a preparatory breath in. And exhaling. Now to begin, inhale deeply in the belly, through the chest, top of the lungs, as much air as you can possibly hold, and then hold for just a moment. And then exhale 1/3 and hold. Exhale 2/3 and hold. And exhale completely, squeezing all the air out, possibly can, releasing anything that no longer serves you, and then relax and breathe in through the nose and return to normal breathing. Taking just a moment to notice the sensation. Now rolling over to your side, let's remove your props. Come onto your mat. And when you're ready, bring your knees up over your chest and just give yourself a little hug here, making little circles with the small of the back on the mat. Going one way, then go the other way. Maybe spreading the knee and getting a nice little stretch here in the groin. You can work the knees a little bit here. Actually, we're working the hips, but by moving the knees a little bit. And then bring your feet down to the mat. And let's bring our hands to the mat. Lift the hips, give them a little shimmy. and down. Inhale, lift the lips, lift the hips, excuse me, and give yourself a little shimmy, waking up the spine and down. One more time, little shimmy, also waking up our digestive system and down. Walk your feet wide on the mat and let's just gently windshield wiper the knees side to side. Letting the hips move as they will. Nice and slow. And then bring your knees back to center. Bring your hands underneath the thighs. Lift your feet off the floor. And let's just do some gentle rocking along the spine. At first with your head on the mat. And then you can lift the head and tuck your chin. Get a little rolling going. Trying to roll the whole length of the spine, keeping your chin tucked so that the back remains round. And when you're ready, you can roll up to a seated position and just cross your legs and sit on your mat. With your hands on your knees, let's just do some gentle rocking back and forth. And I'm keeping my spine long and I'm just rocking out of the sits bones, the hip area, awakening the Mula Bandha. And then let's do some, again, keeping that length in the spine, some hip rolls. So rolling around in the hips, forward and back, really nice and slow. So you're really feeling the hips and the rotation in the sockets. And doing a few one way, then let's go the other way. Noticing how your hips feel today. Mine are a little sore. I did a lot of weeding in my garden yesterday. So this feels wonderful. And come back to center. Now with your hands at your diaphragm, we're just going to do some exhalations on the, with the diaphragm, just some gentle pumping or bouncing of the solar plexus. So exhaling. So and release. Bringing your hands now to your shoulders with your elbows up at about shoulder height. We're going to inhale to the right, exhale left. Inhale right, exhale left. And do a few of these with the breath. And then let's go to the other side. Now inhale to the left, exhale to the right. Relax your neck. And coming back to center and keeping your hands on your shoulders. Let's do some nice shoulder rolls, making nice big circles with the elbows. Keep the jaw soft here. Space between your teeth. Go the other way a few. Really trying to make as big a circle as you can. And then release, shrug your shoulders. Bring your hands up and let's do some W's. So we're pushing back with the arms. The elbows are in line with the shoulders. Chin is soft and throat is open so that the chin is in line with the floor. Not tucking the chin, and hold here. Opening the chest and the heart space. And breathe. And release, shrug your shoulders. Hands on your knees again, and let's do some neck rolls. So dropping the head, inhale to your right. And exhaling other side to the left. Inhale to the right. And exhale, other side. Again, inhale. Really noticing every part of the circle here and how your neck feels as you exhale back to center. Now going the other way, inhale now to your left. Check your shoulders, make sure they're down as you exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Last time, inhale. And exhale. Coming back to center, you can open your eyes. Now let's just give ourselves a little head massage, maybe pulling the hair a little bit, taps along the back of the neck, and the jaw, around the nose, waking the body up. And bringing your hands up, rooting down through the hip bones against the floor, reaching up to find space. Again, we're not reaching through the shoulders, we're reaching through the sides of the body. And exhale, coming forward, keeping that length in the spine, hands come to the floor. And when the hands are at the floor, we crawl the fingers forward, find our stretch. We're keeping the spine long, not hunching here, pressing through the hips as we reach through the hands, relax the jaw, finding our stretch. Finding that traction. And walk the hands back up. Now, whichever foot you have in front, switch your legs so the other foot is in front. Again, finding your sits bones, rooting down through the hips, reaching up with the arms. Exhale, coming forward, hands to the floor, and then crawling the fingers forward, finding your stretch, and relax your jaw and the neck. And release. Hopefully at this point, you're starting to feel when your body starts releasing after you've held a pose for a little while, and feel that wonderful release, and you feel just, you can get a little deeper, something to notice. Moving on to a seated Mukasana, sorry. We're going to bring the one leg around and thread it under the other leg with the foot against the hip. Now, for some of you, maybe, and then bringing the full poses with the other knee on top of the other knee. This is sort of a shoelace thing. For some of you, this may be too strong, so the bottom leg can remain straight if you'd like. You can also, if you're having trouble with this knee, if it's up too high, you can put a brick or even a towel or a blanket to support the upper knee. Whichever one works for you. This is head of cow pose. So just taking a moment in with our legs crossed here. It's a very good hip opener, wonderful for sciatica, but you do have to be gentle. If it's at all painful, you can just do with your legs crossed if you'd like. And I'm just letting the hips sort of open here. I'm moving the skin away from my hip bones. Now, whichever leg is on top, take the opposite arm and put it on top of the other arm. So in this case, I'm mirroring you. So if I have my left leg on top, I have my right arm crossing over the other one. And I bring the arms around so that the hands are pressing together, opening the shoulders now at the same time, feeling that release in the back of the shoulders. Breathe, relax your shoulders, relax your jaw and your neck here. The more you press on the hands, the more you'll find the opening in the shoulders. So just do what is comfortable and what feels like a lovely opening. If you'd like, you can reach up with the hands. This creates even more of a stretch in the shoulders. Rooting down with the hips. And if you'd like, you can come forward with the arms over the knees and come into a bit of a stretch this way. And breathe, release the shoulders, allow this opening. And when you're ready, you can come back up, release the arms, shrug your shoulders. Now, whichever leg is on top, we're going to switch them and put the other leg on top. So that, again, the knees are stacked as close as is comfortable. We're moving the skin away so that we can try to sit equally on both hips and hip bones. So you may notice one hip wants to come up a little more than the other. So we want to just try to give it a moment to see if it'll settle. Again, if you need the bottom leg straight because this is too strong, feel free to do that or use any props. Let's just take a moment here. I like to sort of work my feet out this way, creates a little bit more of an opening in the hips. And this takes time, just sitting in this, marinating as it is, for the hips to open. Breathe into the hips, really releasing. Now, as before, whatever leg is on top, mirroring you, I now have my right leg on top. So I'm going to bring the left arm over top of the other one. Bringing the hands together. Feeling the opening and breathing and releasing through the back of the shoulders. Check your jaw, make sure it's relaxed. And again, the more pressure you put on the hands, the more of an opening you find in the back of the body. Lifting the hands and the arms if you'd like for more of a stretch. And if you'd like, coming forward with the arms over the knees and breathing. And when you're ready, come back up to sitting. Release the arms, shrug your shoulders, release the legs, and give them a little shake here if you'd like. Coming back to a normal seated position. Let's just do some wrist opening here. So as though you're holding a tennis ball, let's do some figure eights. And holding with some tension that ball. So you're really feeling this in the forearm. Now go the other way with your figure eights. Shake the hands out. Let's interlock the fingers and just do some rolls. Go one way for a few. Go the other way. Shake them out. Play the piano furiously. Bach fugue. Really working those fingers and shake it out. Let's come over onto our knees. You can use a mat here if you'd like to pad the knees. We're going to come into our child pose. So I've given you several alternatives for a child or accommodations. You need to use supports, a brick under the head, or to even just do this from the back. Let's come into whatever works for you in child and breathe to the back of the body now. Doing some shimmies with the shoulders, with the hips. One more breath here. And then let's come up to our, just coming up onto our knees and our hands. Our hips are going to come back a little bit, creating a little bit of support and weight for us. Reaching up with your right arm, I'm going to thread it under the left arm and come with the palm up and come to the side of my head into a twisted child here. Again, I'm leaning back a bit with my hips and reaching under. I'll turn so you can see me better here. Finding this stretch, you can extend the upper arm forward if you'd like. Or another thing that's nice is taking that upper arm and wrapping it over the back and maybe hooking your right thigh to get a bit of an opening in that shoulder. Continuing to reach with the lower arm to find that stretch, and opening with the upper arm. And release. Coming back to all fours, little shimmy. We're going to do the other side. So I'll switch sides here. Now we're going to, again, hips are back a little bit at about a 45-degree angle. I'm going to reach up with my left arm, find space, and slide the back of my hand under my right arm, coming down with my chin, side of my head to the floor, reaching with that underarm to find that stretch, extending the upper arm to find the length, or if you'd like, wrapping that upper arm around the back and hooking now the left thigh to open that shoulder and breathe. Make sure you're relaxing your neck. If you're watching this on tape and you're having trouble with this, you can also put a blanket under the head to help with the support here. And release. Come back to all fours. And let's shake it out just a little bit. Now we've done our regular cat-cows, which are wonderful for flexing the lumbar spine. There's one I'm going to show today that helps to flex the thoracic spine. So we're going to tuck our toes. We're going to sit on our heels and come back with the hands, sit on our heels with the toes tucked, and then come back onto our hands. Now, looking up, I'm going to bring the chest through the hands a bit, and then exhale, pressing through the shoulder blades. Finding this is a much more subtle movement than the regular cat-cow, but we're not involving the hips here. We want to keep the hips stable. And sense just stretching, flexing that spine in the thoracic region, the upper part of the spine. And just do a few of those with the breath. Exhale, pressing through the hands, getting that stretch. Let's do a couple more. And then release. You can come up onto your knees if you're comfortable and press, interlocking the fingers and pressing the palms out. Let's get a nice stretch in that same area there. And release. Interlock the fingers the other way, another stretch. Exhale, opening between the shoulder blades. And come onto all fours, coming back into child, straightening the toes. Bring the arms around the back of the body. Relax your shoulders. Now, if you'd like, you can bring the hands behind the body, and I'm interlocking my fingers behind my back. For some of you, that might be enough of a stretch, or you can even like hold your elbows here, forearms rather. Otherwise, we're going to interlock, we're going to open the shoulders, straighten the arms, find that stretch. Now be careful to keep your neck relaxed here and the jaw soft. And breathe, just finding a nice stretch here. And release. Whichever way you had the finger interlocked, put the opposite thumb on top. Same thing, inhale up. Breathe. And release. Relax the arms, shrug your shoulders. And let's come up to all fours, actually pressing up now, tucking the toes and coming into our downward facing dog. Taking a moment here to walk your calves, stretch it out, make sure your fingers are spread out nice and wide, pressing through the tops of the hands, pressing the hips to the sky. Coming up onto the toes, stretching the toes, and then pressing the heels down towards the floor. Now, taking your right hand, we're going to just do a side stretch where we bring the hand through and touch the left hip. So I'm crossing under my body. I'm now looking under my armpit, finding a little stretch here. I'm pulling against my hip to get a little bit of a stretch, just something gentle. If you'd like, you can run the hand down along this outside of that left leg, come to your calf. Gently pull on the calf, find even more of a stretch. And breathe. And release, come back to center, shake it out. We'll do the other side. Now taking your left hand and coming under the body to the opposite hip, the right hip, finding a twist, looking under my armpit, and then sliding the hand down if you'd like to the lower leg, finding maybe a little deeper twist. And then release and come back to our downward facing dog. Walk it out a little bit. Let's take 2 breaths here. Keeping those hips up nice and high, finding that stretch from the hands to the feet. And then let's soften the knees. Walk the feet to the front of your mat, coming into our forward fold. Soften the knees. Relax your shoulders. And when you're ready, bringing your hands to your hips, press through the heels, engage your core, and hinge up to standing. Coming into our mountain pose, we bring the big toes together. Outside of the feet, in line with the sides of the mat, lifting the toes, spreading them out, and placing them back onto the floor. Again, finding that engagement of our feet with the earth, sensing that energy. Pulling that energy up through the arches, lifting the arches, coming into the calves, pulling that energy up into our kneecaps. So we lift the kneecaps, and then engaging the thighs, knitting them together, Pulling up at the mula bandha, the perineal area, to support our internal organs and our spine. Pulling in at the core, the uddiyana bandha, in and up towards the back of the spine. Allowing the energy to now rise up through the spinal column. We open the chest and fill our hearts with that energy and light. Dropping the shoulders back and away from our ears, hands at our side. Gently engaging the chin, pulling it in gently, allowing the energy to flow up through the back of the spine and out through the crown of the head. Coming into our Tadasana pose, our mighty mountain. Coming into our Ujjayi breathing. And you can open your eyes, grabbing your belt, removing any loops you may have in it. So it's your long belt. And taking your feet a step apart, about hip width. I'm going to just bring the belt under my armpits, around my back, the upper part of my back, and then moving the belt so that you have about an equal length on each side of your hands. And I'm holding the belt at my armpits. On the next inhalation, let's reach up to the sky, using the ends of the belt, and expand, stretching the spine, finding space, pulling up at an angle, feeling that opening in the sides of the body. Relax the jaw. Keep breathing. Seeing if you can find just a little space here. Intercostal spaces between the ribs. And release, but keep that length. And drop the belt and just noticing how your body feels. A little extra space in the spine, in the torso. Now keeping that space, let's raise the arms now. Grabbing the one arm, I'm grabbing I guess I'm mirroring you. So grabbing your left wrist with your right arm. Let's continue that stretch up towards the sky. And then at the top of your stretch, keeping that length, let's come to the side, so bending to your right, finding that space in the opposite side of the body, rooting down through the heels and keeping that length. Relax the chin. Breathe. Coming back to center. Let's do the other arm now, grabbing the other wrist, reaching up towards the sky, finding that space. Opposite side of the body, and then keeping that space as we come to the side, rooting down with that opposite heel. And come back to center, release your hands, and you can shrug your shoulders. Another shoulder opener I'd like to do today. Let's take your right arm, well, your left hand, and place it at the back of the neck, at the base of the neck, between the shoulders. Take the other arm, grab that elbow, and we're just going to do a gentle tug on that elbow. Again, keeping your jaw soft here, and breathing. Gentle opening. You can, another thing I like to show here is with the wall, you can, if you have a corner, you can, if you're having trouble getting the elbow to come back, you can lean into the wall, giving you a little extra pressure. If your elbow is going out to the side, you can lean against the wall, like so. It just gives you a little extra support and opening. And release. Shrug your shoulders, shake your jaw. Just do the other side. Now taking my right arm, placing it behind my back between my shoulder blades. Other arm reaches out, comes up, finds that elbow. And again, gentle stretch here, relaxing the jaw. And breathing. And release. Shrug your shoulders. Using our hands, we're working into the shoulders some more. We're swinging our arms freely. And then we're going to start just touching the back of our body and then allowing the arms to swing fully on the downside. Just some gentle taps, not neglecting that outswing. And just do 5 or 6 of those. And then we're going to bring the arms out and we're going to cross them and gently slap our shoulders and then back, and then cross them the other way and then out. So we're switching every arm. Nice and gentle here, but freely letting the arms come back on the outswing. Releasing, relaxing. And do about 5 or 6 sets of those. And shrug your shoulders. Bending your knees and taking a wider stance. Now let's go side to side. We're just going to slap the side of our bodies, letting the arms again swing freely. Check your neck. Allowing the hips to get into a little bit, maybe a little bounce. You can go faster or slower, whatever you'd like. Faster is a little bit more energizing. Slower is a little bit more opening. Come back to center. Shrug it out. And just take a moment to enjoy the energy of your body. And on your next inhalation, let's raise the arms up to the sky. Exhale. Coming down to the floor into Uttanasana, or forward bend. Bend your knees here. Soften them. And when you're ready, let's step back with the right foot and then step back with the left foot. Bring your knees to the floor. Cross your ankles behind you and sit down. On your way down, let's grab our belt and have it beside you. Can you go this down just a little bit? That's okay. Bringing your right leg up towards your right elbow or right shoulder. Let's bring our fingers and interlock them in the front of the shin here. And just find a nice stretch. I'm stretching out my left leg. And again, pulling the knee gently towards the shoulder, not towards the chest. Finding that opening and breathe. Make sure you're relaxing the chin here. And when you're ready, bend the extended leg so that the foot is on the floor. We're going to take the leg that we've been stretching and place the foot over the thigh. Now, for some of you, you can stay here and just sort of work this, the bent leg, gently pressing against the thigh to get a little bit of a stretch here. When you're ready, let's lift the lower leg off the floor, keeping the crossed leg on it. Interlock the fingers behind the thigh of the left leg and pull the knee or the leg in towards the body as close as is comfortable to find a good stretch. Now, relax your shoulders, relax your neck, Some of you may even need a brick under the head to keep the head supported if your head's cut. We don't want the head up like that. So use a brick or a blanket if you need. And find your stretch here. This is also wonderful for hip opening, lower back pain, sciatica. When you're ready, if you'd like, if you can stay in that position, and for some of you, that's totally fine. If you can go a little deeper, you can bring the fingers in, you're locking them now in front of the shin. Again, checking your shoulders and your jaw. Finding that stretch. In this position, you can even use this your right elbow maybe to pressing out against that bent right leg. Just to find, maybe explore a little bit more of a stretch there. The more that bent knee, the right bent knee goes away from the body, the more of a stretch you get in the hip and lower back. Now again, staying here if you'd like, or if you'd like to go deeper, grabbing your belt. Extend the left foot, putting the belt over that foot, holding the belt with your left hand. Now I'm bringing my right elbow down to the floor and I'm going to support my right hand or my right leg with my right hand to keep it from, I don't want it to bend in, I want to keep it out. And then gently pulling on the belt with the left leg, finding your stretch. This may be strong, not too strong for some of you, so just do the previous steps. And you can release the belt, release both feet gently. Give a little shimmy or shake, and we'll do the other side. So now I'm going to bring my bend my left leg with my fingers around the shin of my left leg, pulling that up towards my shoulder or outside the body, extending my right leg, finding a stretch here, and breathing. Now, as before, we're going to now bend the right leg with the foot on the floor, cross the left foot over the thigh, and take a moment here. Again, maybe working that left bent leg, upper bent leg out a little bit away from the body to find a stretch. And when you're ready, if you'd like, lifting the right leg up off the floor, interlocking the fingers behind the right thigh, and just gently coaxing that right leg in towards the body. Maybe using your left elbow, if it reaches, to press out against the left leg. Definitely feeling a nice stretch here. Relax your jaw, relax your shoulders. Breathing into anything that feels tight. Now staying here if you'd like, or if you'd like to go deeper, interlocking the fingers and putting them on the front of the right shin. Again, if you feel any pain in the knee, either knees, release out of it. Don't go so deeply. And again, staying here if you'd like, or if you'd like to go deeper, straightening the right foot now, putting the strap around the foot with the foot flexed. I'm holding the belt with my right hand. I'm bringing my left elbow to the floor with my left hand supporting that left knee. And I'm going to gently pull on the outstretched leg to find my stretch while simultaneously supporting the left knee from collapsing in. And breathe. And you can release the belt. Bring both feet back to the mat gently. Gentle wiggles and jiggles if you'd like. And then extending your arms above your head and both legs behind you. And using our core, engaging our core here in the abdominal area, we're going to just simply roll over onto our bellies, keeping the arms and the legs out, and then rolling back as gently as you can. Keep not using the arms, not using the legs, using the core. Now go to the other side, rolling onto the belly. Again, really try to not use the arms or the legs. I find it hard to not use that knee a little bit. We're trying to engage the core. Let's do another set, rolling over. I also find it easier on one side than on the other side. And going back to center. Now bending your right knee with your right hand on the floor. I'm going to roll over onto my right side. So I'm reaching out of bed, coming up onto my elbow. So I'm reaching for a glass of water. And I'm going to come back onto the mat gently. Now do the other side. Again, reaching for that glass of water. Staying on as soft on the back and as smooth as you can. Using your core here. Reaching, engaging the core as we come up. Just do a few of these. Don't lead with the head or the chin. Keep the neck out of it. We tend to try to lift ourselves up with our chin, and that usually doesn't end well. Practice using the core. And come back to center. Lifting the hips and shaking them out a bit if you'd like. And again, coming into our spinal rolls with our feet above us, hands on the back of the thighs. Let's roll up to a seated position. We're going to keep our feet in front of us this time. A little bit of core work, engaging our core. My feet are together with my toes pointed. I'm bringing my hands together in Namaste prayer at my heart, and I'm going to engage my core and lift my feet up. And breathe. Again, we don't want to be slouching. We want to keep the shoulders back. Find your balance here. And breathe. Nice long spine. And down. Take a breath. Come back up again. Now this time, press out with the left foot and turn to the right. Come back to center, shoulders back. Other side, press with the right, turn to the left. Back to center, engage your core here. Right, back to center, left, back to center. Bring your feet down, give yourself a little hug. Again, we don't want to be, if we're slouching, it's going to stress the lower back. So we want to keep the back supported, pulling through the abdominal muscles. One more set. Hands at the heart, lift the feet. And this time, let's go to the left, kick with the right, back to center, engage your core. Turn to the right, kick with the left, and center. One more set. Turn to the left and center. Turn to the right and center. Bring your feet down, give yourself a little hug. And let's roll over onto our bellies, giving our backs a little love. Just a little bit of back strengthening work here. These two exercises I found, cobras and locusts, to be the most effective thing in helping to strengthen my back and prevent back injury. So again, our feet are on the floor, toes are stretched out, hands are at our side. Inhale, we're going to lift between the shoulder blades, squeeze and hover the hands, really working and strengthening all the muscles in the upper spine. Really squeeze and try to lift and breathe and down. Again, inhale up, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Trying to find a little bit more lift. And down. One more time, inhale, lift, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Really working all those muscles and down. Relax your shoulders, give your hips a little shimmy. Now extend the hands out in front of you. Your legs are extended too, and we're going to just make a fluttering motion as though we're swimming. So lifting both the feet and the hands and swim, 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 swim. Working all the muscles, all the paraspinal muscles. Breathing and down. Relax. Inhale up again. Lift the feet, lift the arms as high as you can. Swim, 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 swim. And down. Relax the shoulders. One last time, we'll lift the feet, lift the hands and swim. And down. You can bring your hands to the side, turn your head to the right side. Give your neck a little stretch here. Let the shoulders be heavy. Space between your teeth. And let's turn to the other side. Relax those shoulders. And coming back to center, bring your hands to your side. Press into child for just a couple of breaths for a nice counter pose to our back work. Couple of breaths here. And then coming into Shavasana, you can cross your feet behind you, sit down and lay down, extending your legs if you'd like. Coming into your Shavasana pose. I'm going to stay seated for this, but find your comfortable corpse pose. Taking any final movements or stretches you'd like, using whatever props you'd like. And coming into your pose of relaxation, of conscious relaxation, where we allow the benefits of our practice to settle in and nourish our internal organs, our mind, our spirit, our heart. Checking the body now for any tension, making sure your feet are relaxed, the legs, maybe giving your hips a little jiggle, making sure you're not holding any tension there. Checking the belly. Relax the chest and the shoulders. Let the arms and the shoulders feel heavy against the floor. Check your jaw. Relax the tongue. Relax your eyes. And relax your mind. And coming back to the awareness of your body and your breath. Begin to awaken the body, taking any little stretches or movements of the fingers and toes. Rolling the head side to side. Perhaps a final stretch. And when you're ready, bending your knees and rolling over to your right side. Keep your eyes closed for another moment. A breath or two there. And when you're ready, coming up to a seated position and bringing your hands to your heart. Recalling your intention that you said at the beginning of the class. Seeing it come into reality, holding it at the seat of your loving kindness, the heart. Sending it out into the world. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Have a lovely weekend and week ahead. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.
Robin, thank you. That was a great class.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. If you heard any snoring at the end, that was my dog.
I did have a little trouble though, because I didn't get the link. I'm not sure why.
Who is that?
This is Judy Sadowski. I did, I've always gotten the link from you before. I did, so what happened was I
Did
emailed.
anyone else get the link? I sent it out. I sent a reminder out yesterday, as
Yeah,
I always do.
yeah, I didn't, for some reason, maybe it ended up in my,
You can check your spam folder.
Yeah.
It was sent out. Just so you know, it's the same link as from the
Oh.
first class. It's always
Oh,
the
it
same.
is.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I'm just sending out a reminder.
Oh, all right, that's good
as
to
a
know.
courtesy. But if you ever can't find it, just use one of the previous ones. So next week is our last class. I hope you have a chance to go over the class this week.
Mhm.
Yeah, I did. It really felt good. The second time you kind of anticipate what you're going to be doing, so there's more of a flow. It really feels good.
Wonderful. Well, have a lovely weekend. I'm sorry, is there something else?
I just wanted to remind you that when you're facing the side, it's difficult to hear you.
Doing the best I can, and all I can say is to please.
And when you're facing the front, it's fine. But thank you very much.
Okay.
It was a
Thank
great
you.
class, wonderful
Thank
class.
you, everyone. Have a nice week.
Is there any way, Robin, for these videos to be saved so that we can review them over the summer?
Unfortunately, due to a number of issues, some of which are legal, we are not doing that. It's just for the 4 weeks. But you have, you know, we're getting used to the fact that we have a Zoom class. It used to be you came to class Fridays at 8:30 and it was either be there or miss it. So this way you have them all week. So I hope you take advantage of that and have the opportunity to make notes and practice on your own.
Yeah, that's fabulous to be able to do it a second time. Thank you.
It is.
Okay,
Thank-
take care, everyone.
thank
Have a
you.
lovely weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.